Hello, this is a short video of how to install a Aleka 12 by 10 or 13 by 10 manual awning. Now basically we're going to be going through the assembly of the unit before it goes up on the wall today. This is how the box arrives from the freight line. We're going to be opening it up and pulling all the parts out, check and make sure everything's there, and also get familiar with the parts as we pull them out. And there's a little bit of work unwrapping all these parts, so just take your time, make sure you don't lose anything. The box comes packed with parts, and you'll see the manual laying in front. There's a little hardware box. And then each of the assembly parts are wrapped in plastic so to protect all the parts during shipping. We're gonna pull these parts out and lay them side by side, make sure everything's here, and check them off against the parts list listed in the manual. Now inside the hardware box, you should see to the left side, there's the 3 mounting brackets, one for each end and one in the middle. Then you have some masonry anchors, wall bracket accessories. They're in that one pack. Keep all that together. You'll need those. And then another pack is going to be the roller and torsion bar accessories. And then the other pack will be the front bar accessories. Anyway, there's a roller support assembly also down on the bottom right side. I'll give you a little detailed instructions on how to assemble that part. Now leave all the parts in the bags until you need the parts, because you don't want to mix them up. Makes your job a lot easier to keep things separate. Now inside the box, I'm unpacking it, you're going to find the installation guide, and then you're going to have some connection pieces. There's 3 of them packed in one package. It's the roller bar, it's a big tube on the top, and you got your front bar for the awning, and then the unpainted piece is the torsion bar connection. All 3 of those pieces join the unit together in the center. Now also you're going to have 3 more pieces. The crank handle here for manually raising and lowering the awning. And then there's a right side, a left side where the crank handle goes into, and then the right side. And these 2 pieces join together with the connections that I just showed you. Now, keep in mind, you have to unpack this. It's okay to cut this one with the packing on it. Okay, take that loose. Now, this piece here, keep it together, because you need to keep that together until you have full assembly. And then at the very end, you're going to cut this apart, because this got tension on springs, and this holds it together so it don't bop you in the face. If you cut it prematurely, you got to hold on to it because it'll go. Anyway, so what I'm doing, I'm going to cut all the packing and remove that so that I can get ready to assemble the unit. Okay, some tools you're going to need prior to putting the stuff together, just so you have everything that you need. A Phillips head screwdriver. I use a set of diagonal cutting pliers. They work pretty good. They're also, another name for them is dikes. There's some clips that I use because I was putting the fabric on by myself. It's just regular. This is just a binder clip for like paperwork, and this is like for clip for potato chip bag. You can use any of this type of clips if you're doing it by yourself. couple 11/16 wrenches. I chose a socket wrench because it was easy for me to find. Open end, you can have 2 open end wrenches or like I have it here. I have a little file that I sort of ease the edges when I'm sliding the fabric into the tube. It takes any sharpness off the edge, just barely, so you're not tearing any of the fabric. I just sort of briefly just take the edge off, the sharp edge off. A size 6 metric Allen wrench. Then there's, I have a couple 10 millimeter open end wrenches I pulled out too for some reason. I have a 14 millimeter open end wrench, and then a 17 millimeter open end wrench. And then there's a rubber mallet that you're going to need for maybe pounding some of the stuff together if you need to use it. Sometimes you don't. I have a couple pieces of rope that I have just to sort of hold stuff together so it's not flopping around when I'm assembling the unit. You don't really need it, but I have it. Then you have there in the fabric itself, you're going to have some bindings that these slide inside the fabric, and this is goes the fabric to the big roller tube, and these 2 pieces you're going to need for the front fabric on the front bar of the awning, and also the little scallop piece that you add to the front of the awning. I chose to read the awning installation guide from front to back. Before I started, some of the parts are a little bit confusing, and when this stuff starts going together there, you'll get a hold on it. But definitely read that. There's some safety stuff in the very front of it. Now this is for the 12 by 10 awning and the 13 by 10 awning manual. Now I'm getting ready to assemble the big roller bar, and each roller bar is basically the same. It's got 2 ends. One end has screw holes in it, the other end is blank, and that's the case on both bars. Now basically that's the reason we're going to be fastening this together with this connection piece to make a big long length. The holes may not line up real good. You're going to use M4 screws, sheet metal type screws that's supplied in one package with a roller bar. That's okay because it makes the screws grip to the aluminum better, because you're using steel screws and aluminum. Aluminum has a tendency to strip out easy, so try not to use a power drill to do this with. Use a hand screwdriver so you don't strip the aluminum. That's easy to do. So I'm going to join this roller bar together now. that's what the rubber mallet's for. Now I'm going to join my two front bar, awning bar pieces together with that connection piece, that little short connection piece. Now also you'll notice too that each piece has two holes in one end and it's blank on the other end. Both pieces are roughly the same. I'll be joining this together with his number M4 screws also, sheet metal. Basically, I'm getting ready to install the fabric on the top roller tubing. Anyway, I take the file and I want to take off, this is the slot that it slides in. I take off a little bit of the edge, dress it up a little bit so it's not sharp. Not a whole lot. I just want it to be, when it goes in, it's a smooth transition there, so the sharp edge is not tearing up the fabric. And I'm doing this by myself, so it's going to be, it takes me a little bit of time to put this fabric on. It's the small spline that I use for the top. It's just a small black spline, and the front's got the bigger splines that you'll use that slide into the awning material. Okay, I got the box of awning material, and I opened it up, and you're going to find the one black spline, a small one, and then two bigger splines. Now, as I said before, the black spline is for the large roller tube, and the bigger spline material is for the front of the awning, one for the ballast, and the other one attaches the awning material to the front bar. I'll lay this stuff aside right now, and then I'm going to pull the fabric out of the box. Basically, I try to do this in a clean area so you're not dragging the awning material through a dirty floor or something getting it all dirty. But I'm going to go ahead and put it on the big tube first. It's easier that way. It's harder to get it on the big tube than it is to do the front bar. Front bar goes on pretty easily, both pieces. For some reason, I guess it's a bigger slot or something. It just slides on a lot better. So I'm doing this myself, so it's easy for me to do the hard piece first, and then I'll do the smaller piece, front piece, second. Now both top and bottom are the same. Where you saw the spline, whether this is the top or bottom, it doesn't make a difference. There is two sides to this material. This is the top. This is the bottom of the material. That's where the hemmed edge is. Anyway, it's not important now, but when you start putting it on the assembling everything and rolling it up on the tube, it's important to get it on the proper way. Now I'm going to start feeding that that smaller spline to the fabric. I have to feed it all the way down. You could hit some spots where it's a little tough, but it goes in pretty easy. You hit some snag, you sort of pull back a little bit, start over again. Usually snags up in the center where you seam stuff together. So I'll walk down and see if I can relieve that piece right there. A little rough getting over the seam. Okay, we're going to do the same for the front piece. We're going to put the big spline in, and then when we put the valance on, and that's when it's important to know bottom side and top side. Now if you notice, I rolled up the awning on the big roller tube. And when you mount it to the house, the top of it, this is the top of the awning roll. This is going to roll from the top out. And then I'm going to get ready to put the spline in here to thread it into this front piece. The front piece, it's going to thread into this part of it here. And then the valance is going to be threaded into this channel right here. Now there is a top, like I said, this is the bottom, so that's going to be there, and then this is going to be the hem part here is going to be on the inside also, threaded through the bottom. So it's kind of important to get it on the correct way. I'll be using the larger spline material for threading through the thing and then sliding it onto the top part of it. Now I have the front piece mounted and the valance mounted on the front of the thing. It would be like this, and this is slotted down here for the torsion bar there's a channel that the torsion bar assembly locks into. But this top cord or spline, or I forget what they call this, but it needs to be cut back like ½ inch from the end of the metal, because this cap goes on the end, and the screw screws into the cord, so it needs to be cut back, so, and the actually screw taps into this cord, so you have to cut it back about a ½ inch from either end of the metal tube. That way you have something to tap into with a screw that holds these caps on. This one can be cut off even. It doesn't really matter. You do the same thing on the other end. Now we're going to set this aside, and we're going to put together the torsion bar section of the frame. Okay, before we start to assemble the torsion bar section of the frame, we have to put together the roller support assembly. Now, there's a set of instructions packed in with the bag of parts, but basically what it's trying to tell you to do is there's a big side and a flat side. These rollers get installed on this side of the assembly, and there's 5 of them. You see what I'm doing here. Now, basically, what you have to sort of take the nuts off of it, okay? And there's a washer that you put on first. That's this part right here, and that goes on first, and then this nut screws down against the washer. Okay, you can't, now when you get that down, take the nut and you back it off about a 1/4 turn. That way the roller rolls free and it's not wobbling. Okay, so basically no more than a 1/4. Now you maintain that position, and you're going to put that onto the flat side of the support bracket, and you put the nut on. Okay, and try to keep everything from moving. Make sure it rolls. It's no wobble in it. And you can support it with an Allen wrench. That same Allen wrench fits this side too. Support it with the Allen wrench, and you can, once you support it with the Allen wrench, then you can tighten this down. Okay, what you want is you want that to be spin freely, okay, and not have a whole lot of play back and forth, because that's going to roll real free. Now you do the same thing with each one of these 5 pieces, and it's got to be on the proper side. It's on the flat side, because this bracket mounts as you're coupling the 2 right and left section of the torsion bars together. This actually gets installed before that spline, or not spline, but that coupling, that short piece of unpainted metal goes on. So it's got to be put on ahead of time. Okay, I've got this fully assembled, and I make sure each one of them spins freely, and there's no slop in the roller, because it's got to you don't want any undue wear. And we're going to get ready to install put this on the torsion bar assembly right now. We're going to assemble these two right and left side together with this coupling, and they get bolted together with these 4 screws, 4 nuts, and then 8 washers. Okay, so that's what we're getting ready to do right now. We're going to put it in one side first, and then we'll we're going to slide on that roller assembly first onto one side of one of them, and then we'll fasten them together. Okay, we're going to assemble the 2 torsion assemblies, the right side and left side together. But and this is the coupling. It's unpainted, and I slipped that into the right side of the torsion bar unit. Now this roller assembly needs to go on before you put any bolts in. Okay, so you'll slide it over and get it started. Now what we want to do is we want to get this inside bolt on first. Okay, it's important because otherwise you won't be able to get it in later. Now these bolt holes here and this nut that tightens down to hold this tight on there need to all be on the same side. And this is the top of the unit up here where the roller will roll into it. So basically, as long as you get that in the right spot, put the head of the bolt on this side because it sticks out a little bit and it interferes with the rollers. Put your washers on, okay, and get your nut started here. Then you can slide it back and put your other side on. Washer, bolt, washer, nut. Now basically you're basically ready to assemble the unit. I tighten all this down once I get the 2 sides together. I'm going to put the other side on now, this way, assemble the unit. I'll tighten it all. Then what happens, I'll tighten this down and this will slide on back and I'll lock this down. And basically these rollers are right in the center of this intersection here. So it's actually, now it's centered in the thing, and this is the top, and the long side is facing out, so it's going to be catching that big roller bar. But notice the position of the bolts all line up. These, they're all on the same side. That way that bracket's on properly. Now I'll take my 2 10mm wrenches and tighten all my nuts. And then after I get them all tight, then I'll move this to make sure this is up against that nut close as I can, and I'll tighten down this bolt here to hold that bracket in the proper spot. Now I didn't, I mentioned the rope earlier, and I needed 2 pieces of rope. I kind of like use that rope to hold these torsion things together so they're not flopping all over the place. I got another piece of rope over there holding this together. That's why I mentioned 2 pieces of rope or something that just to bind those together. Now I'm getting ready to put the top roller bar on, along with the awning, onto this frame. Now, before I can put the roller bar on, I have to take the right side loose. Now I've got a couple 11/16 wrenches. Let me see here. I'll take this assembly off the side here. Okay. And I gotta have it ready to go on. So I'll lay this stuff down here. And I'm gonna put this top part roller bar onto the portion assembly. And then I'll put the top piece on, or that end piece back on. Now I slipped the roller tube on the other end, on the left end. Now I'm going to put this assembly back on, and this pretty much goes all the way up just even with the end of the square tubing. Go ahead and tighten it down. While you're at it, check the other end for being tight. We never really loosened that up, but just make sure it's tight. Yes, it is. Okay. Now I got the arm bar link and a blocker, and basically we're going to slide we take this end cap off again. I put it on too maturely. We're going to slide arm bar link first into the channel. Loosen it up. Probably could went ahead and slide this other thing all the way down first. I'll take these on down, feed everything to this end. And we'll put this side on. and then the blocker goes on. And I can just go ahead and put this end cap back on because got a little bit too premature on that, I think, but anyway, it's done, no big deal. Screwdriver took care of it. Okay, what we're going to do is now it's pretty much time to cut those torsion bar things holding that spring loaded, and I can attach those onto the arm. Basically, I just go ahead and get this position. Go ahead and cut this loose. And this could fasten. Put the nut on it, keep that side closed, keep it together. Then I'll do the other side. Now we need to roll, after we got these arms fastened to these, okay, let's go ahead and roll it all the way closed. I just use a screwdriver and this one thing, just keep turning it. Get it up where it's closed. Then you go ahead and tighten. You can leave it a little loose. I think they need to move. Not sure. Then we go ahead and tighten. Move these blocks down and take the Allen wrench and tighten it down with a stopper. Same size Allen wrench. You do the same thing on the other side. Now, this thing's ready to go up on the wall. Basically, they say this is a mounting bracket that mounts to the wall. There's 3 of them, one on either end and one towards the center. You're not going to get exactly in the center because of that roller tube bracket that we put on. And you basically got, they say they mounted around 6 inches from the end of the thing. Now you got about 3 inches variance either way, okay, on these ends. So you know, you have to get solid mounting. And if you're going to masonry or brick, they supply you with the anchor bolts that you need. Okay, now if you're going into wood studs or a overhead beam or something like that, and then you need to mount it with probably at least 3/8 or 7/16 lag screws at least 4 inches long or 5. Get it into the stud or whatever you're going to go, because there's a lot of weight and torque on this thing when it's extended out 10 feet, especially when you get some rain on it. Now, if you get any rain at all, you got to make sure you can actually adjust the slope on these. They're preset from the factory, about 2-foot drop and 10 feet. You can go a little more than that if you think you're gonna. If you have a heavy rain, the more slope you have, the better off you are. If you get it too flat and level, you're liable to come crashing down. Now, if you get any wind or rain, you crank them up immediately, because wind will tear these things up, and then a heavy water rain load will also bust it down. Anyway, hopefully that helps you. I try to be pretty complete in what we're doing. This one's ready to go up, ready to go. Thank you.